Thank you very much, gentlemen's time has expired, and the chair now recognizes the gentleman from Ohio's 12th District for 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Wright, for being here today. I'll start off with U.S. LNG exports have been a game changer for natural gas producers in Ohio, the state where I represent, as well as our allies around the world. Opponents of LNG exports often push the narrative that exports raise domestic natural gas prices. However, the vast majority of studies, as well as Henry Hub data, show the opposite. Boosting exports increases domestic production, which lowers the price for American consumers. In fact, while LNG exports rose by roughly 14 BCF per day between 2016 and 2023, dry gas production jumped by 31 BCF per day. And despite total U.S. natural gas consumption almost doubling from 2010 to 2023, the 2023 average natural gas price of $2.54 was the second lowest level in over 35 years, only exceeding 2020 pandemic levels. Mr. Secretary, can you talk about the potential of U.S. LNG exports not only for our allies, but how boosting LNG can keep natural gas prices low for the consumers here at home?
Thank you, Representative, and I agree very much with your premise. 17 years ago, the United States was the largest importer of natural gas in the world, and we had over 1,000 rigs drilling specifically to produce natural gas. Today, that over 1,000 rigs is only 100 rigs drilling in the United States for natural gas, and as you pointed out, we've become the largest net exporter of natural gas in the world. This is technology, this is efficiency, and this is infrastructure that gets built to move natural gas at scale. All of those ultimately lower the cost to produce natural gas. They lower the cost to American consumers of what is today the biggest energy source in the United States. 70% of total energy, not just electricity, but total energy consumed in the United States comes from two things, natural gas and oil. And so you're right, this growth in natural gas has not only been great for American consumers and businesses, but it's our fastest growing export. Within a decade, I think it'll be the largest export from the United States of America. The natural gas story has been a great story. It's faced a lot of headwinds and a lot of political pushback and battles on the way there, but it has been a great story of lowering costs for American consumers and giving greater security to our allies abroad. And growing the geopolitical influence of the United States.
Thank you.
And Ohio's been a leader in that, I should say, as well.
Amen. Thank you, Secretary. I appreciate you putting Ohio out there. One of the greatest threats to affordability is not exports, but the lack of pipeline infrastructure, especially in the Northeast. As you know, expanding our pipeline capacity is a top priority for natural gas producers in Ohio and the Utica and Marcellus Shale. How is your department working with FERC to prioritize natural gas pipeline development?
Oh, active dialogues, not just with FERC, but across the government. And I think you pointed out a classic example. Why does the 6 states of New England all have expensive electricity and relatively expensive home heating? Just a lack of a pipeline. Tremendous gas resources in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio that have changed the game for people living in those regions. But New York State has historically stood in the way of building a new pipeline or expanding pipeline access through its state. I think we're going to change that. I hope we're going to see 2 pipelines under construction in the next 12 months, which would really lower electricity costs, home heating costs, and opportunities for businesses to expand in New York State and New England. So building, and of course not just in New England, the United States needs a fair amount of new pipeline infrastructure. There are private developers and private capital that will fund it. To your point, we just need to have a more sane and reasonable regulatory environment to get certainty in a reasonable time frame to build these pipelines. But I support 100% your point.
Thank you. With just 45 seconds left, so be watchful of the time. Given your role as Secretary of Energy and Vice Chair of the Natural Energy Dominance Council, I wanted to get your thoughts on an issue that presents a major threat to grid reliability, the broken interconnection queue process. You have 30 seconds.
Yes, I think as we heard earlier, 95% of the projects in the queue to get connected at FERC are wind, solar, or batteries. The vast majority of them have no chance of being built, but you can just throw your name in the queue and you can clog up the queue with 1 million studies and it has led to inefficiencies. So we need to look at that process and make and prioritize projects that are impactful and make it move faster and more efficiently.
And we have a bill that we'd like you to look at sometime. Thank you, Mr.
Great.
Chairman. I yield back.